Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm back with two baking gadgets designed to level up your baking game. My question is, do they work and are they actually necessary? Let's find out in today's review, starting with a nail for baked potatoes. This is an interesting one. These are baked potato nails. I paid $9.99 for a 6-pack. Currently has a 4.6-star rating among about 450 reviews. They claim that it's made of heat-conducting aluminum, and these nails will help bake potatoes and other items from the inside out. They say you'll get fluffier potatoes in less time, but it's not for microwave ovens, but they are dishwasher safe. Surprisingly, a lot of people like these. They said they do in fact bake potatoes more quickly. Some people said it cut the time in half. Not a lot of cons, but some people said they were too short for larger potatoes. No real instructions on here either, so I'll have to wash these off and then get started. I have two potatoes here, each of them exactly 8.5 ounces. I had to sift through a bag of them to get exactly the same size, but I did. I've just washed them off and dried them. I'm gonna pierce each one 4 times with this fork. Next up, inserting one baking nail into a potato. There we go. Some people might wonder if you could use regular nails for this. I mean, I guess you could if you don't mind some galvanized zinc leaching in your food. Otherwise, you're good to go. I don't think it's recommended. These are heavy gauge aluminum that are food safe. I'm gonna oil these up now. 2 8.5 ounce baked potatoes, one with a baking nail and one without. These are going in the oven and we'll see how they do. Ideally, this one is done first, but we shall see. I'll come back in about 45 minutes and we'll see what happened. All right, both of these are out of the oven. Now, when I took them out exactly at 45 minutes, the baked potato with the nail was right at 205, and the baked potato without the nail was at 199. They've rested for about 3 minutes. Let's cut them open and see what's inside. First up, we'll go with the nail version first. Let's remove the nail out of here. It looks pretty well fluffed up. The non-nail version, cutting I can feel it's a little bit harder. Maybe not unacceptable, but a little bit harder. This is definitely not as fluffy inside here. I'm not sure this is completely done. It feels a little bit harder. These have been out for a few minutes. Let's take a temperature here. After fluffing, it's at 195. After fluffing the non-nail, about 190. So I'd say it might have saved 5 to 7 minutes maybe. So I'm not sure if it's a significant difference. And I've also heard people just use skewers as well. So you could possibly use a skewer instead. But for what it is, for what it does, I think it does provide a moderate difference. Let me take a bite of each one of these. The nail baked potato first. That's perfect. Let's try the non-nail baked potato next. I could go about 5 more minutes. There's a little bit of clumpiness to it that I didn't get with the one with the nail. So I think, 5 minutes. 5 minutes improvement. Is it worth it? Maybe. Maybe if you make a lot of baked potatoes. Some people put them in the microwave for a few minutes first and take about 10 minutes off. So there's multiple ways of speeding up your baked potato time. This is one of them. I think it's viable, but it's not the only game in town. But I'm glad I tried them, and the next time I make baked potatoes, I might use them. Just don't use regular nails. Not a good idea. Next up is an item that can make muffins or bread bowls. I put it to test, and be sure to stick around because I have an important update at the end of my review. Let's take a look at the Better Baker Edible Food Bowl Maker. I paid $17 for this. Currently has a 4.3-star rating among about 50 reviews. And this packaging is a little bit ragged looking. The instruction booklet's very high quality materials. That's interesting. And here is the unit itself. Looks like it can be reversible this side or this side. They claim you can make food bowls or muffins with these 2-in-1 pans. Makes 2.5-inch dessert bowls. Includes a recipe guide right here and dishwasher safe. Now, a lot of people said it worked pretty much as expected. Several people noted how well made it was. I didn't see a lot of cons in this one, but someone said the unit was just too large, and it is pretty big. So I have to wash this off, read these over, and get started. All right, let's take a closer look at this thing now, shall we? Now, first thing I notice is it's very well made. It's very sturdy. I mean, this thing is like a tank. Now you have 2 sides here. This side is for muffins, and this side is for the bread bowl. And this thing is kind of massive to just make 2 muffins. I don't think you can get a muffin tin for a lot smaller footprint than this. I'm not really worried about the muffin side. I want the bread bowl side. Look at these, and these are huge. Look at that, compared to my hand, I mean, it's like my hand goes all the way in there. So as far as bread bowls go, that looks pretty promising to me. So perusing their recipe guide, first of all, it's kind of funny. They seem to imply that the bowl's kind of sticking here. They talk about how you should saturate it with cooking spray. And they also say that fluffier cakes and breads like Angel Food Cake tend to stick to the sides and make it more difficult to remove. At least they admit that. I give them credit for that. Some places say, oh, it's perfect for everything, and then it doesn't work so much. They actually warn you certain kind of cakes are not going to be as easy. So props to them for being upfront about that. In their recipe guide here, I saw a cheesy beer bread bowl, and that sounds absolutely delicious. So that's what I'm going to try. That's why I'm serious here. I got my apron here. So let's start off with, I'm going to put this aside, and I will coat this after I've mixed my ingredients together. So the first thing we're supposed to do is mix all the ingredients and let it rise for 30 minutes. So let's get my ingredients going here. First up, 3 cups of self-rising flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 12 ounces of beer, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So now we're supposed to mix all these together and let it sit for 30 minutes. So I will do that, and I'll come back in half an hour and we'll load this thing up. All right, it's been 30 minutes. It's time to get started now. Next up in the instructions, it says, coat the Better Baker bowls generously with nonstick spray with flour. I've got some nonstick spray with flour right here. They do say generously, so I'll be generous. Here we go. That's pretty generous. That's pretty generous. Now they say press the dough into the bowls, making sure you press all the way to the bottom. There's a fill line right there, so we're gonna have to do that. All right, I've done my best to fill this up. I mean, it didn't even really go all the way to the fill line, but I tried to make it as even as I possibly could, and that's what we've got. That's their full recipe, so what I gotta do now is throw it in the oven at 325 for an hour, and then we should have some beautiful bread bowls. So let's do that next and see what happens. They said to put it on a baking sheet, so that's what I've done. Close it up, see you in an hour. All right, pull these out of the oven. I let them sit for about 5 minutes as the instructions state. Now we gotta get them out of here. They say don't cut around it with a knife because you could damage the pan itself. They say if it's difficult to remove, try tapping the bottom with a wooden spoon or shaking the baker in a circular motion. So let's see what we got here. Let's see if they come out easily at all. Let's just try turning this over. Oh, they came right out. They came perfect. They came right out, and they are steaming hot. Here's what we got. I mean, it looks beautiful. Look at that. And I was thinking I might have to cut the bottom off, but they're standing up, so I don't think I have to. Looking pretty good. And guess who's in here now? Look at this. All right, so the next thing I'm supposed to do now, I think, is brush it with some butter. All right, so next step is to brush them with some butter, then we'll let them cool even more, and then it's time to eat. Let's get started. All right, we are brushed, and I think at this point all I have to do is just let them sit. I'm gonna cool down to room temperature, add some soup, and start eating. So I'll be back when it's lunchtime. Before I actually eat this bread bowl, I wanna try moving this one off to the side. Taking my second one here, I'm just gonna take a little bite of this one. I'm gonna cut the bottom off. I'm gonna flatten this bottom on this one. That way I can still use it, but let me just try this bread itself. This is a recipe, it looks good. See how it turned out. Well, that's good, that was good. That's some really good cheesy beer bread. Good recipe. Easy to make too. All right, so I held about 1.5 ladles full of my broccoli cheese soup. Nothing's leaking out the bottom, so that's a good thing. So let's dive into this and see how it actually tastes. Tear off a little bit of this rim here just to get started. Oh yeah. Well, that's good, man. I don't know if I've ever made a bread bowl before. I think I've always had them at restaurants, but man, with this, maybe I'm gonna start having them more often. I like it. I like the idea, and it's held up. It's a big bowl though, man. It's like more bread than contents, but maybe that's the idea. Maybe that's what you want. But I'm gonna keep eating, and I will let you know when I'm done what my final thoughts are. So I finished my bowl and it was delicious, and then I threw the unit in the dishwasher, and they do say it's dishwasher safe. Right here it says dishwasher safe. But there was a slight problem. When I pulled it out of there, most of the mold section, and not the entire thing, but just the mold section was covered in brown powder, which I'm assuming is the cooking spray with flour. I don't think it's the coating because it didn't seem to be affected by the rest of the unit, just where the mold section was. Which means it probably isn't quite as dishwasher safe as they want you to believe. You're certainly gonna have to wipe that spray out next time, or you're gonna get that coating. Now I did take a rag, you can see how much came off. Look at that, that's from me scrubbing the bottom, but I don't think I got it all. I've got a clean rag here. Let's try that again. Aha, see that? Look at this. On the other hand, if you take the rag and scrub one of these sections that didn't have the cooking spray on it, there's nothing left behind. That tells me it's the cooking spray. However, there's one other small issue on the section that didn't have any spray on it. Check this out. You can see down here the surface, there's something going on there. It looks like some degradation on this part that I didn't use. So I don't know. I think that there was an issue with the cooking spray, and I think there might be some degradation going on that muffin side. So I don't think it's dishwasher safe. I think I would stick to clean this by hand if I were to get one. But that's all I've got. If you've used either one of these baking products, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.